Dude, I've been feeling very old this week because I don't know what happened. Well, number one, I went and played basketball for the first time in probably 6 months with a couple of my homies out here. We used to play all the time, but we just jobs and all this thing, our schedules have been opposite, so we haven't played in a while. And so we just played recently, and dude, so much fun. Number one, I just want to put a positive out there before the negatives. My body, bro, oh my gosh. Which, obviously it hasn't been in that sort of, activity range for a while. Because even, working out, right? You're just working out specific muscles, twisting and turning and jumping. And, I mean, my shins, bro, it felt like I took, 20 calf kicks from, an MMA fighter. I was like, what? And so, there's that. And then I woke up on Monday and my lower back, I don't know what happened, if I slept on it wrong or if it's maybe from the basketball as well or a combination, but I've been walking all types of weird ways and I'm like, bro, what is going on? I'm about to be 28 and this is what it's like.
Yo, straight up, I'm telling you, once I hit 25, bro, I just can't live. My life just is in pain all the time. I'm over here walking at my job, and I'll step some way, and I'll feel a shock go down my leg. I'm like, what's going on? That's new. I'm like, I knew I was a robot. I knew I was built different.
Yeah,
I'm a cyborg.
It's so. I'm definitely, I've been I want to say I've been fairly consistent with my stretching. I'm probably at 4 out of 7 days a week, but I'm really going to amp that up, right? I really am going to be aiming for 7 out of 7 days. Cause I'm I need to be malleable for, times like this. If you sleep weird or
times like this and rhymes bro, no, for real, because Delaney and I were talking and she's like, it's funny because me and her have always been the way we like to work out is like bodybuilder workouts, right? Just normally, going to the gym, you're curling, you're benching, you're squatting, you're everything, right? But now it's we've both come to the realization that we need to prioritize mobility strength training and just stretching overall. Because, bro, just before the podcast, I was trying to mess with the camera angles, and I sat crisscross, and one, I couldn't. And two, I thought my hip was going to pop. I was like, yo, what is going on? I
Which
can't
is
even
crazy, because you used to be on the floor at Publix blocking in freaking any.
But I couldn't sit crisscross either.
Oh, you would just lay flat on your knees.
Yeah, I'd look like a chica like this.
Which is probably harder for more people.
It was.
It hurt,
But it hurt my back and my leg would fall asleep. And now I've realized that I can finally sit crisscross, but my knees don't go all the way down, and I can't have my back straight. My back's physically arched, and I'm I try to stretch it and it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, my posture is booty.
Not good.
No, not good. I'm only 25.
And
for clarification, because I know it's probably confusing on who's who now because both of us are wearing glasses. But in case you forgot, I'm Gabriel.
I'm Tyler.
And here's the intro because this is getting weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start. Introducing Catchin Up
I customize mine because I'm bougie.
It's not a 9, but it's not an 8.5 either.
Why are you this picky?
You have to be the one to open the door. You have to be the one to open your heart.
It's not about you. It's about touching other people's lives.
Catching Up Podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means. But anyways, all that to say, do your stretches, kids. It's gonna catch up to you if you don't. So if you build a good foundation, and even you were saying with trying to switch up your training, it's yeah, bro. Nowadays, I still train bodybuilding style when I work out, but I'm okay, I need to be doing cardio, foam roll, I just have all these things where back in the day it was I just wanted to go and lift, unless I was doing something specific like cutting or whatever. But nowadays it's it's more important to train specific things so that your body can maintain its health,
I've also just realized when you train mobility, you strengthen all those stabilizer muscles, which in return will actually make you stronger because you're using not only just your major muscle groups, but also this small stabilizers. So then in turn, when you do bodybuild train, you're actually more effective.
But I feel like it also makes you stronger in like real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Because like sometimes like you have like, you know, bodybuilders and like they can't like pick something up a certain way or lift something a certain way. You know what I mean?
Or like they can't do a pull up or they can't do a push up. You know, it's like,
or their balance is way off. Like, you know, stand on one foot and they're like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Which is also me, so I'm not talking smack. But
no, we're talking about us, the bodybuilders.
We're bodybuilders. All right. Anyways, well, that was a quick little just you know, recap. And now we get to have some fun. We're gonna be doing a little food review. We've been doing food or drink reviews every week, so we feel like we'd keep it up this week.
And before we say where we got it from, comment down below where you think, because it's been the same 3 places this whole season. So you got a 1 in 3 shot of guessing where it's from. Other than our first episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, the first one was a random.
But that doesn't even count because we didn't do the same thing.
True.
We picked our own local spots. Out of stuff that we've both tried at the same time for the first time, they've been 3 companies.
Well, I mean, you can also get these at other places, but I think it's just that it's where we were able to find them. This is a snack that I have loved for about a couple of months. I first saw them. Well, I'll explain. So let me just show what we're putting first. We're going to be reviewing Fruit Riot sour grapes, but specifically the ones that have the like different flavor coatings or whatever it is. So basically, it's just grapes, lemon juice, and a sour candy coating. They are real grapes, so they're pretty calorie efficient if you're like cutting or if you have a workout or a diet plan. Like they're actually pretty healthy. Again, they're just, I mean, I'm sure the sugar candy coating is what's giving you that extra sugar, but it's really not that bad. But anyway, so the first time I tried,
you forgot one important description about them.
What? They're
frozen grapes.
Yes, they are frozen grapes. I guess I didn't say that. So they are frozen grapes. So yeah, they're like a little treat, you know. So I saw this brand a few months ago. I went into a Vons, which is a grocery store out in California, and
I was like, "What's that?"
And they only had the sour mango and the pineapple. And now, since I found out, like the grapes are the most popular, so they're typically always sold out over here. But I didn't know they had grapes at the time, so I just got the mango. And dude, they were good, but the mango is so sour, and I think it's because with these, you know, when I was able to try the grapes, I was like, oh, it balances out so much more because the grapes, I feel like because there's so much juice within the grape, like it balances it out where the mango is not really juicy at all, especially frozen. So like you're just biting into like pure sourness, whereas like these, they're still very sour. Don't get me wrong, but it just like, you know, the grape juice just kind of washes over too, which is nice. So yeah, I've tried these before. He hasn't.
Yeah, fun story. So they sell these at Sprouts, if you didn't know. At least that's where I found them.
Yeah.
And when Tyler told me about them, because we wanted to do this for one of our original reviews, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, these sour grapes, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Bro, no way, I found them." But like he was at work, so I bought them, and they have the regular one, they have the cotton candy one. Because that's what I thought he was talking about. He goes, "No, the flavored ones." And I'm like, "These are flavored." And he goes, "No, different fruit flavors." And I was like, bruh. So then I tried those. Cotton candy, I was very disappointed. I didn't really like it. Regular ones, good. Made me excited for these. And when I bought these, it was buy one, get one half off. So instead of getting the mango, I got the pineapple one. So I got the pineapple ones in the freezer for me to try later, too.
Oh, I don't think I've tried the pineapple yet, so let me know.
I will.
LMK.
But BET.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. If you've tried these, let us know your review.
You said the 3 flavors, right? Mixed berry, lemon lime, and green apple.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to, I think, distinguish them.
Yeah, they're different colors.
Hold on. Let me see. 'Cause I've never... Are they really? I mean... All right, let's see.
Yeah, so this one's pink. This one's yellow.
Oh, okay. I've never
And
known
this
that.
one is green.
Bro, also, some of these grapes are huge. Like, look at these.
Yeah,
They're
GMO
like,
heavy over here.
like, yeah, kind of scary, but at the same time, like, it is what it is.
All right, so you want to try a green one first? This is going to be green apple. All right, cheers.
As well,
I'm
cheers.
scared. Are you doing the whole thing?
Okay. Yeah, these are gonna make you pucker for sure. Like, like they're sour. You gotta like sour candy if you think you're gonna like these.
Whoa.
That one's nice though.
Okay, are we doing individual? We're going to try all three and then review.
Yeah, keep note, but let's try all three.
All right, hold
Pink,
on. No, okay, cool. Pink? Okay,
which is mixed berry.
mixed berry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then Okay, yeah, so this is definitely lemon. You got a
All
lemon?
right. Yep. Yellow, lemon lime. Cheers.
Okay. They're so good. It's actually pretty funny. Like, I've always just opened the bag and ate them. Like, I didn't really know they were distinguishable by...
Bro. That was the first thing I noticed when I opened them.
Okay. So, first of all, I just think these things are great. The one that doesn't have these three flavors, they're still good, but they just don't have...
It's just sour. It's
that
grape
extra
and
like
sour.
flavoring. So like they're great, but these ones like they're just a little bit of a notch above in my opinion.
I definitely agree. I could eat this in one sitting. The other one I actually split up because it just kind of gets a little old because there's not that spice. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get them thawed out because then it's not going to be good and it's going to melt. But it's not, the grape isn't as flavorful because it's not as juicy as a normal a grape. So, yeah, since I'm sure you want to go, just go first. Since you've already had them, I'm sure you can rate them easier.
Well, right off the bat, I think easiest my favorite flavor is mixed berry.
Yeah, I could tell by your reaction.
The pink one. I just think like it balances out the sour and the sweet really well. And I think in general, like even if I was to eat like a candy, like I think like the berry flavors were always my favorite anyway, so it makes sense for this. Second
you're a
is
fruity
gonna
guy.
be green apple.
Okay.
Only because the lemon lime, I can't really taste the lemon. Like it just feels like it makes it more sour, maybe because of that like acidity. But like I can't really taste the lemon too much on it. Like it just makes it more sour for me. So I'm gonna go mixed berry, green apple, lemon lime, which funny enough is the order they're in on the bag. So I guess I'm just good like that.
You're just that guy.
But honestly, like they're not by much. Like I just grab it and eat it by this. But we just decided to do flavors. But overall product, 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10 rating. Overall.
Yeah, overall product, 10 out of 10. I'll just start by saying that. Just because it doesn't happen very often, but me and Tyler do disagree sometimes. So
they're addicting.
My order is different. So I'm a little torn because I agree. Like the lemon lime's not like overly like whoa, but my favorite by far was the green apple. Funny enough, every time I go out and pick a flavor, it's always either green apple or blue raspberry. So which makes sense because you always go with the berry. So. And I also think it's the one that was the most like distinguishable. Like you have it and you're like, whoa, that like tastes like green. It's like a green apple Jolly Rancher. Like
it's the
like
most
it genuinely tastes like a candy. If I blind tested like mixed berry, I don't know if I'd be like, oh, this is mixed berry. So I almost want to default to lemon lime being my second favorite, and then mixed berry being my third, which is the backwards order of the label. So
Can you
that's
taste
where
the like lemon and the lemon lime?
I have a little bit in my throat right now.
It kind of just makes.
Also,
yeah.
just let me get a little more of a close up right here. Like this is what it looks like. It's just probably a lot of malic acid right here. Like.
Dude, see, like I closed the bag, I wiped off my fingers, and I'm like, ugh, I want to go back for more so bad. They're great if you haven't tried them. And also, if the brand is watching this, you know, if you want to send us the other flavors to review, we're open.
Yeah. I'll put a big fat logo right here. Every video. So yeah, I can taste. I do taste more lime than I do lemon, and I love lime. And
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, so yeah, I say yes. I can taste it.
Okay.
But that was just
Fair
a really
play.
good coated one. And it's funny because I felt like what's a good word to put on the internet? I felt like a wimp because I never squirm at sour. Like, if you know me at all, like, that's my thing. Like, sour candy is my thing. Like, I would eat, like, 10 Warheads, like, and, like, be like, huh, that's it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this, because it's so sour and super cold, is just, like, it's really hard not to be like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just
Bro,
a little,
the
like.
first time I had the mango one, like, try the mango one. You'll be like, whoa.
Well, that's funny enough that you said that because that was exactly what I thought. I was like, honestly, frozen mango kind of sucks. As a fruit
Yeah.
lover, I literally went and bought an Asian pear because I've always wanted to try one of these. So, but I'm just gonna not review this. I'm just gonna eat it. But
Bro,
I'm a fruit guy.
Are you down to try one of each altogether?
All three in my mouth?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if my teeth can handle it, but I can
little
try.
Taste test.
I feel like my dad.
Do your top two together. Do your top two.
All right, but are you
So
gonna do
I'm
all
gonna-
three? If you're gonna do all three, I gotta do all three.
I would do all three, but these
They're
are
really
all-
large.
They're really big. So like, if
Look
they
at
were
this.
Smaller, like yeah,
Like-
there's no way I could realistically do all three. So I'm gonna do mixed. I'll do mixed berry green apple. How about you do lemon lime and green apple?
That's funny. When they're together, you can kind of tell the difference, but not really.
Okay.
All right, I'm
You know,
not ready
just
for this.
funsies.
All right. Cheers. Cheers. Camera.
Oh yeah. Whoa. I'm glad I didn't do three.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
Oh, that was really good. I would do that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's hard because like they are really cold. I think fortunately for me, ice cream is like my favorite dessert, so I'm used to.
And like sour
cold stuff a lot.
gummies are mine.
Yeah, it was great.
Honestly, we should have played the intro now because we got to go put these in the freezer.
You know what? I'm just. Yeah, we probably do. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I will cut it. All right. So for those of you that it's the same episode, never mind. I just gave my wife one before I put him back in the fridge before I put it back in the fridge, and she tried one. She looks at me like this.
Bro,
So funny.
that's probably this. I gave Bailey one. Like she took like half of one, and she was like, "Yeah, I can't."
Oh my god.
All
right, but now we are 20 minutes in.
Try them. They're nutritious, somewhat, and they're fair like for a snack. You know what I mean? Instead of going to get ice cream or going to get like a sorbet or something, like it's a pretty good snack option. And Gabe's having more snacks.
Asian pear.
All right, Gabe, why don't you take us to the next topic here?
Yeah, while I'm eating. No, I'm just kidding. Here, let me put this down.
Well, you're the one who's got.
All right. So, I want to say this. Words are impactful. And long story short, one of the pastors at my church had a message the other day about James chapter 3, and And I just thought it was something that was really applicable to just life in general, because I feel like growing up, we always get taught these like mottos and like things like that, and like you have to like teach people how to be nice and like how words hurt, and you know, you learn like the 80 versus 20. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's like 80% of the world, like let's say like you can get 80% of the comments online that you get are positive, and like 20% can be negative, and you're gonna focus on the negative because like that's just what impacts you, right? That's what sticks usually. And I think it's just so applicable to where it's like your words have the ability to shed light or take light away and just spread darkness in other people's lives. And this is something that everyone needs to work on, including myself included. I actually had an incident this week where I was like, man, like I should have caught myself. I shouldn't have said certain things. Mm-hmm. And words have the power to make a friendship for life, and it also, you can rip apart a friendship and create an enemy. You can build someone up with words, and you can tear someone down with words. Words are the one thing that you cannot take back. Words are the one thing that people don't forget. Like people will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel because of the words you used. And it's just one of those things where the message said, a pastor was like, you don't need a new vocabulary, you need a new heart, because your heart is a reflection of what, your words are a reflection of what's in your heart. And I feel like that's so, people are just so easy to, myself included, I'm honestly kind of speaking more about myself, is like, I'm so easy to like, I'm a nice guy. I'm very kind. I like to build people up, but then it's like, second I make that switch where it's like, oh, you did me dirty or you did this, it's like I will rip you apart. And that's not good. You know, that's not a good trait I have. That's definitely like one of my more toxic traits. And it's just one of those things where James chapter 3 is talking about. It's like we can tame animals. We can tame wild animals. We can tame you've seen it all over the place. And it's funny because I didn't know this, but one of the, I guess, people at my church was the one that trained the owls in Harry Potter to bring the owls the letters to the students. Mm. It's like we can train birds to bring pigeons, like that's a thing, like pigeon messaging. We can train that. We can train like any animal. You can train an alligator. I've seen people rubbing alligators' mouths, like their tongue, and putting their hand in there, and the alligator that's a wild apex predator not move, not flinch. Like you can train that, but the one thing no one can train is your tongue. And that is what can start fire in people's lives, and that's what starts wars. That's what starts everything, negative but positive at the same time. And it was just something that I think that is worth talking about, because I know it's funny. Like the more you read the Bible, the more you're like, oh wow, it really does cover like every aspect of life. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? And it really calls you out. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's not something that we can necessarily do on our own. Like you can have the best discipline in the world. You can wake up every single day at the same time. You can stretch every day. You can go to work every day. You can have everything, like your whole life. But like, if your heart's not in the right place, then you can just spew destruction so mindlessly. You know what I mean? And like your heart and your mind and your words are just one of those things that's like, that takes the most discipline out of everything. And it's like, and if we can't control that ourselves, then it's like, who can? God can. And it's like trying to like have God reset in a way, I guess, right? Reset your heart to where you are spreading truth and light and positivity. And I can't speak too much on this just because it's something, one, that's very recent, and it's all due to privacy. But something happened where someone said something to other people where they shouldn't have, and the information they got was presented in a safe space, and it just got out, and so many people were so quick to turn on this person, myself included. And And then by the time I was able to like calm down and not speak out of emotion, I was like, man, like, did I really need to say all those words to convey my message? And I was like, was it even the best thing to do? Did what I want to be accomplished even get accomplished? Because I was just so blind by emotions and the rage and wrath and hurt in my heart that I, instead of spewing positivity and like being like, hey, like, sometimes there's things that there's not necessarily a good way to go about it, but when you speak, when I was in that moment, it just wasn't, and nothing good came out of it other than just me saying regretful things and hurting someone else. And I just think that's something that everyone needs to work on. And I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it and like just see where you were at, because I sent you the message of my pastor. I'll also put it in the description for those, because it's like, I don't know, it was one of those messages that like every time I listened to it, I was like, man, you're right. Like, it's just one of those where it's just like, you just got to be kind and spread love and positivity. And it goes for like hiding behind screens too. You know what I mean? Like, you don't understand how one negative comment can really affect the person. It can really affect their mentality, their emotions, their well-being. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was just the topic that I wanted to bring to the table.
And now I get the next 30 minutes.
Yep. Bye. I'm gonna go eat the rest of the bag.
I'll try to be as concise as Tyler knows how to be. I have two perspectives that I want to bring to this. I did watch the message, and I thought it was a very good sermon and a very good way to speak about that chapter in James, which speaks of the power of the tongue and the destructiveness or the positive of it. But I also find it great how the pastor brought up as well in James. He's like, he's getting on us, and he's like telling us, all these things that like the problems that the tongue can bring. And then, he kind of brings it back to where he basically says like, nobody can do it. Right. It's an impossible thing unless you're Jesus Christ to do. So it's like, at the end of the day, again, it's like with everything, we have to have grace for ourselves, but at the same time, like, that doesn't overpower like you needing to work on these things. But the first perspective I want to bring is kind of what you were saying, like, with the influence and with social media, and you were talking about how like comments in general, which is such a huge thing. I mean, one person on somebody's post can literally change the trajectory of their day, the trajectory of their week, the trajectory of what the content they make. Like, I don't think in the social media age, we can all hide behind a screen, so we can get away with saying whatever we want without facing any consequences and not knowing what consequences those words are causing in other people's lives. And it's so harsh, because I mean, we've even had people comment on our videos back in the day, like they would like try to correct us on something and come really like just on like harsh, like coming down on us. Like there's one way to constructively correct somebody, but there's another way to just come at them and be like, you're dumb, you're stupid, how did you not know that, blah, 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 or whatever. And sometimes I would counter back and be like, hey, this is actually right if you look it up, and they would be like, oh, I just wanted to comment, I thought it'd be funny. And I'm like, again, we're a little bit beyond letting certain things affect us, but that's not everybody, and of course that's only to a certain degree for us. I'm sure there's things that if somebody commented he wouldn't like, and there's something that people commented I wouldn't like. But on the flip side of social media and using your tongue, it's like everybody nowadays is on social media, us included. We have a podcast, you know what I mean? And like everything that we say and everything we put out there can have influence and can have power and can have weight. And I think that's why it's so important to really just, before you go on social media and post something, or before you go on social media and say something or react to something, like really think about it. Like think about, this is going out into the world, and even you might even think like, oh, I'm just posting it to my friends, or like us, like we're not getting a lot of views right now, so I'm like, oh, it's only going to be seen by like 200 people or whatever. Like, who knows? That could be the video that blows up, or that could be the video that your friends share around to people, or whatever. And And, just to give an example, it's like I was watching a video this week where there's this pastor on YouTube. His channel is called Wise Disciple. And he basically, he's a pastor / debate teacher, and he is an atheist turned Christian. And he does these specific subset of videos where he reacts to TikTok videos of like people on TikTok being like, oh, Christianity this and Christianity that, and like just giving all these like wild takes, but they're pretty common takes if you're not a Christian, like, and he was just going through them, and he's like, he's picking the actual logic of it apart, or the lack thereof. He's just like, yeah, this doesn't work for this, and this doesn't work because of this, and this has no thought behind it. You're literally just taking like, oh, like, why is hell real or whatever, or like, you know what I mean? Why does evil happen in the world if there's a God, right? And like taking these questions that like these people just ask, or like, yeah, I left Christianity because I asked God for something and he didn't give it to me, So it's like he's picking apart these arguments that like have no real structure or real base to them. And he's also saying that like people are gonna see that there are so many people out there who are struggling with their faith or struggling to learn about faith, and somebody's going to see this video of you speaking emotionally and not speaking with a backing of what actual scripture means, and they might take that and they might run with it, and that might set them off on their journey with Christ. Or you can take that for whatever religion, you know what I mean? And that applies to everything, right? Like you can put something out on social media. It even goes with like how these reporters will put things out with these headlines, or like these news outlets will put things out with these headlines, and people are just going to read the headline. They're not going to go and click. Nobody wants to do their own research. They're just going to click that. They're going to see the headline, and they're going to go run and tell their friends and their friends and their friends. And now you have this whole thing happening, and this whole idea of something that may not even be true because you decided to put something out there, right? And like your words coming from your tongue, or coming from what you type, or coming from what you react to, like there's so many different ways that our words have so much power. And so it's like just tagging along with the social media aspect, just like be careful of what you're putting out there. And if you are putting something out there, just make sure it's something like you've actually thought through, and you actually are bringing because you're curious, or you want to encourage, or you want to uplift, or the negativity and the things that people put out just to get clicks is just insane. Like it's pretty sad, honestly, but that's really what social media has come to, and news outlets for that matter. And my second point was like the pastor brought up in the sermon, which I thought was such a huge point, and he just referred to Luke 6:45 when Jesus said, "For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." And so, I think this is something that where we can be better as people at giving people grace and giving people forgiveness and understanding, because a lot of the times, whether it's on social media or whether it's in real life, when people are being negative and calling you names, or giving you an attitude, or, believing something they heard that's not true, or, coming at you a certain way with no reason behind it, a lot of the times it's because of how they're feeling inside, right? Or it can even apply to like maybe you have a friend in your life who, you're having successes in a certain area, and you're telling them about it, and like, it's your friend. You think they're going to be happy for you, and they kind of brush it off, or they're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. And they're not really like being there to support you and be like that friend that you need in that moment. Like with all these examples, it's like that can all, and most of the time is reflecting just how they feel on the inside. Oh, my friend isn't uplifting me. Maybe they haven't had any successes recently, and they're feeling really down upon themselves. Oh, somebody called you a name. Maybe somebody's been harping on them at home or in their friend group, and so they're lashing that back out because they're like, oh, well, you're making me feel this way, so I'm going to make this person that feel this way. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that if we can have that perspective of literally what Jesus said, and this verse applies in so many different ways, but to this specific way, for the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. If somebody is speaking to you a certain way, again, it's most likely a reflection of what's inside. So just being like, what's going on? Like, instead of like giving them that attitude back or calling them a name back or shutting them out now because they didn't give you the reaction you wanted, like maybe try to be a friend back, try to be a kind human back and be like, hey, like, what's going on? Is there anything that you want to talk about? Because, and you can address it. You could be like, hey, like, I feel like the way you handle that, I feel like you calling me that was wrong. I feel like that attitude you gave me, like it was uncalled for. Like, are you okay? Is something going on? And I feel like that's something that a lot of us don't do in today's society. We kind of just, oh, you're going to give me that energy, I'm going to reciprocate that, and it's just like when you're looking up to God the Most High, the most, forgiving and merciful God, right? Like we're supposed to be following after him. Now, and again, I'm not saying that you should just let people walk all over you and this and that. Of course, like you have to finally weave these things in, but just having more grace for people when the words they speak can be harsh, right? Because a lot of the times it is from within. And so, just all trying to be better about that, right? Like that's something that I have to work on a daily basis too. And on both sides of the coin, like I've been the person receiving and I've been the person dishing. And so it's like I have to find ways on both aspects. Hey, I'm not feeling, as good about myself today. I need to find a way to not lash that out onto other people. Or hey, I'm feeling like people are coming at me all day today, and I was feeling good. My energy was good when I walked into work, but now I feel all types of different attitudes and energies. Okay, well, let me just try to figure out why that is. Let me have some conversations. Let me communicate how I'm feeling versus just deflecting it and giving it back, So yeah, I think that's those are two perspectives to go along with that sermon. And I do encourage everybody to go and watch it, even if you're not a Christian, even if you don't believe in a God. Like I think it's a really, really good sermon to watch, because there are so many biblical principles that you can apply to your life that you don't have to believe in God to apply to your life, and this being one specifically. So I think it's a really, really good one. And like he said, we'll leave it in our description box. And I encourage you to go and check it out.
Yeah. Just remember, words, bruises fade, but words never do. That's kind of just like one of those things where, and it's comforting, like you said, like the whole chapter is like, this is something that like everyone needs to work on. There's not a single person on this earth that's like, I got it, my tongue's under control, like it just doesn't exist. Yeah. So it is one of those things where it's like, it's never like, I got it and you don't. It's something that everyone's going to struggle for the rest of their lives. And the only one that can help us fix it is the big guy upstairs.
Yeah, and even just like real quick, it's like, remember back when, so we used to have a 3-person podcast. And this is when we like first started on the podcast. It
sounded like, really weird when you said that.
We used to have a podcast with 3 of us, not just 2 of us. But it was our first time doing anything like that. And a big thing that we had to learn was to stop speaking over each other and to actually listen, right? Like controlling the tongue there. Like it's not even about just the words you're putting out, but like, are you listening to listen and hear and understand? Or are you listening to react and speak and get your point across without fully hearing? And that was something that like we struggled with for a while. And like, it's even something that I still struggle with in like my real life. I think me and him have gotten on a really good, we've gotten on a really good wavelength on the podcast because we kind of understand like, oh, we're in this mode now. And like, if we talk over each other, it's going to be very prevalent. So like, and we've also been doing this for years now. So like we understand it, but in day-to-day life, it's a lot harder because I'm not recorded. I'm not hearing my conversation back. I'm not, we don't have to replay this and make videos out of it. So like, it's a lot different. And that's something that like, I actively have to work on. And it, that truly is a virtue, also biblically speak is what we're called to do as well. Be quick to listen, slow to speak.
Yeah. And I think that's a good wrap on that. Kind of just want to leave it there.
With the bone.
And usually we have like a fun little tidbit or a little question at the end. But we were talking, and I was like, for being called the Catchin Up Podcast, where we're two best friends living across the country just catching up, we haven't caught up in a while. So we just figured we'd take this little time, just give you guys a couple little updates on our lives. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
You can go.
All right. Well, everyone knows I got married last year, so that's not new.
Yeah.
And moved and everything. But the new stuff, I guess, is I'm in this interesting chapter of my life where I don't like saying it because I sound like I'm an idiot, and I'm setting myself up for failure. But there's a plan behind it all. But right now, I'm juggling 3 jobs, so it's been a very busy and very exhausting season so far. On top of having trying to be there for my wife and give her attention and spend time with her and spend like quality time with her. You know what I mean? Like that takes time. And then then I got the podcast, and then I got friends, and then I got my family, and then I got I just got a lot of things on my plate and a lot of things that drain me very fast. So that's been new. That's just the main thing because I've been so busy. 2, one of my best buds, Tommy's getting married this Sunday from when we're recording this. So by the time the podcast comes out, he will have been married, and I'm one of his groomsmen. So really excited about that because I get to see a bunch of people that I grew up and love and have. For those of you that don't know, this tattoo right here represents the people that I considered anchors in my developmental years, and everyone except Tyler actually is going to be at that wedding. So it's going to be cool, like being able to see everyone, people that I haven't talked to in years, but also like they just have had such a big impact, and I just love them so much. And I don't know, I'm just really, really hyped for them. Tommy and his wife, I say it now because when this comes out, she'll be his wife. But his wife Yanela, like I've been friends with them for years. I was friends with them before they started dating, while they're dating, and for the rest of their lives now. So it's really exciting, and that I get to also bring my wife too, because I met my wife after everyone moved away. So there's a lot of things in my life that people have played big roles in and impacted me in like really, really, really big ways and amazing ways that it's just sometimes hard to talk about because like she doesn't even know who they are. So it's like at some point I'm just spewing names, and she's like, "Oh, who's this person again?" I'm like, "Oh, this." So it's like it's gonna be cool that she's gonna be able to actually like meet them, put a face to the name, get a sense of who they are, and then vice versa. Like none of them really know who my wife is, except the close few friends that I have that I still talk to on a regular basis. So really excited for that, and it's gonna be in North Carolina. So me and her get a little getaway, a little trip, a little road trip together. So that'll be really good. I'm really excited for that. And then I had another thing that I totally forgot. But I do have another wedding in August that I am not a groomsman, but I am still getting invited to the bachelor party. So that's still fun in Tennessee. So got 2 weddings this year. So really excited for that. And my sister's been releasing music, actually. I don't know if I even told you that. No. Yeah, so that's been really cool, like seeing her life with all that. But yeah, man, I'm really mad. I had a third thing, and I was just so focused on like the middle part of the podcast that I totally forgot what another update it was.
Well, I can always.
So yeah, Tyler, your turn.
Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah. Well, nothing.
Oh,
crazy.
I'm getting a dog soon. That's what it is. Sorry.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah, hopefully in the next like month or 2, I'll have not a child, but a doggy child. So that'd be cool. That's
hey,
exciting.
that's the learning phase, you know.
Yeah. So
I
that's
mean, I hope
exciting.
to as well.
Those are the three big. Yeah.
Whenever me and my girlfriend move in together, I definitely want to get a dog. So this is expensive, bro. Dogs are. I know people with dogs, and like they can be very much like a child. So
Hey, test run, right? It's still.
yeah.
I'm not paying
Yeah.
$20,000 to have a dog. You pay $20,000 to have a kid.
Yeah. Well, also it's like, you kind of get that sense of like, oh, okay, like I have to put money towards something else besides like me and my girlfriend or me and my wife or me and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think it'll teach me that sense of like, you just can't be spontaneous. Like, like I have to be home to walk the dog, to feed the dog, and like just having to like get used to a routine like that. That'll be interesting because I've never had a dog.
Hopefully you don't have 3 jobs then.
No, that's the whole reason. I'm trying to get this out of the way now before I have a dog.
Right. That makes sense. Over here, all is good. It's just been, the usual working gym. Gym schedule's been a little bit like all over the place, man. Just with like, scheduling and going over to my girl's place and. So I've been trying to get in there about 3-4 days a week. I'm not really on the 5 days a week anymore, but I'd like to be around like at least 3 days in the gym and then maybe like 2 days, like a run or a walk or some sort of extra cardio. So I'm trying to find that groove, that sweet spot where I can make that happen. It is me and my girlfriend's birthday coming up this month. Actually, she's on the 8th. I'm on the 14th. And so that's gonna be fun. We typically, she likes to do a little something for her birthday. She likes to like plan events, so she'll probably plan some sort of party or get together or dinner or something, and I'll obviously fill in the rest of the day full of things. I have some ideas, but I'm not gonna put them out because just in case. I don't know if this episode will be out in that time yet, so I'm not gonna throw them out there because she does be tuning in. And then it's my birthday, and typically for my birthday, I just like to go to like an arcade or something. So maybe just go to like Dave and Buster's or something. I haven't been in so long, and like I've been wanting to go actually. But my birthday's on a Monday, so I'm probably gonna do that on like the Sunday night, and then I have Monday off. Worst. So then just like take Monday and just like chill, relax. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm turning 28. She's gonna be 27. She still looks like she's 18 though, and I look like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of aged right. Maybe like I feel like I looked maybe 25 or so, but I don't know. I feel like I've always looked like I was in my mid 20s. You know what I mean? Like even when I was like 18, it's just like I don't know. You kind of
that's true.
That's like some
true.
people have those faces, right? Like my girlfriend, she looks a lot younger. Me, I feel like I kind of fit in the middle. And then there's some people who like look older. They'll be like 25 and they look like 32. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know where I sit because I feel like from here up, I look young, but I feel like from here down,
I think it depends on if you have a beard or not. Yeah, I think that drastically
if I don't have a
changes.
beard, I look like I'm 16.
Yeah, he's one of those. But then, yeah, if you have the option of the beard, now he looks like he's 42. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I'm not kidding. When I have a beard, I haven't gotten ID'd since I like turned 21. Because like obviously that's the only time I went out and like had to get ID'd. But like I never get ID'd. But that's like insane. People will date my wife every time. I've literally gone to a liquor store and we both had like paying for things separately. And they will ID her, and then she'll leave. And we came in together. They'll ID her, and then it's my turn. They're like, all right, yeah, it's going to be $25. And I'm like, and I've literally had to where I pull out my ID and they go, you're good. I'm like, oh, whoa. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, other than that, just, trying
And you've been getting more auditions this year? That's exciting.
Yeah, auditions have been picking up. I think I said it at some point on the podcast, but I had my first booking earlier this year, and it's been a pretty steady year so far of auditions. So hopefully that continues to pick up and continue to trend in the right direction. It'd be nice to get some more acting opportunities this year. But yeah, I mean, other than that, man, I mean, kind of just the the daily routine. I started a new acting class as well, but that's also on break because my coach went out to do theater in New York for about a month. But that's been fun. I've been really enjoying being back in person and getting to, because I was doing Zoom training for people that don't know. So I was doing online acting classes for a couple of years there and just wanted to get back in person. So, hopefully I hope to do some more improv soon. I really like improv. I think it helps with like instincts and just trusting your natural reactions in scenes. So I want to get back into that at some point. And yeah, I have a couple of other things I'm like thinking about working on, but we'll when the time comes for that, we'll bring them to fruition. So
yeah.
And of course, like obviously, just trying to stay on top of like Bible study and stuff like that. I'm still working through parts of the Old Testament, and it's interesting. It's an interesting journey. I'm very my goal is to like just make it through the Bible once, and then like I'm still like trying to seek and understand and ask questions and things like that. But I'm just trying to like kind of get through it fully, and then I really want to like read it again, but like start to like read it slower,
dissect it.
Yeah, kind of like because if you go to a church service, like they're giving like a whole sermon on like 3 verses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I just read like the whole chapter of James last night, but they're like breaking it down. So I would kind of like to start approaching it from that end, but I do just want to read it and get a sense of the whole thing and an understanding, and so that's fun. I mean, I enjoy reading it. It's the only book I've enjoyed reading in a long time. So yeah, that's been interesting as well. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Aside from, like I said in the beginning, trying to stay on top of my yoga, or stretching or whatever you want to call it, just trying to stay more active in that sense. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know.
Right.
One, if you find those sour grapes, try them. Let us know what you think. Also, if they want to sponsor us, y'all want to sponsor us, let us know. And then if you have tried them, let us know what flavors are your favorite, because you may disagree or agree. Then I don't know what's the call to action with the stay positive, be kind, think about what you're gonna say and how it's gonna affect people, because
Think before you speak.
Don't know. Think before you speak.
Yeah.
And that was the little update on our lives. A little us catching up. We'd love to catch up with you. If you want to give us any updates, anything cool happening in your life, let us know. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure if you're listening to us on audio platforms, make sure to give us a rating. Send this episode to your family, your friends. Watch the sermon in our description. And also check us out on our other social medias. I think, did we finally pass 100 followers on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot that the whole first season we kept trying to push that, and then we totally forgot about it season 2, and season 3 we finally hit it. So thank you guys.
See,
let's keep it going.
You just stop pushing so much energy towards something; it just comes to you.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you. Make sure to check us out on those socials. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. If there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We're more than willing to check them out and do it. Just no edgies.
Yeah, no wedges.
If you know, you know. If you don't, it's because you don't watch our YouTube and check out the comments.
Pretty much.
Fake fan. Anyways, in case you forgot, my name is Gabriel.
I'm Tyler.
And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Catching Up Podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means.